Yeah, yo, 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 yo,
Headie and
So essentially, yeah. I don't know
yeah.
that.
So I genuinely don't know like why Tottenham and Edmonton.
I can't tell you why. There's no point. I'm a 28-year-old man.
Because as soon as I saw it, I was like, hey, I gotta ask Mo about this.
Yeah. What am I?
That's what ends.
That is, but I'm 28 years old, bro.
If you ask us about like Peckham and Newcastle, Peckham and Brixton, we might be able to give you a little bit of info.
I mean, I wish I could, but yeah. And then what? Essentially, they just been sending for each other, just indirects, and it just came to.
How do you man feel about them like doing that though?
I don't blame them.
But on the plane,
Yeah.
I mean, it's on site, innit?
It's on site.
But
You can't pick and choose.
look, flipping Tion macked the man in the head. Headie didn't do anything.
Because he's on a flight.
No, because Tion was moving mad. Why
Tion
wouldn't
was-
Headie?
Uh,
Because he's got a reputation to protect.
he does.
Which is what I said about Stormzy.
I don't blame them. No, I still don't blame Stormzy for what he done. I don't blame Headie or Tion for doing it for this
On
regard.
a plane.
Yeah, but listen to what I'm saying. This might not go to you because you don't listen to their music. If you consume their music and fuck with them, you have no right to argue. Do you get what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
If you fuck with Tion Wayne's music, if you fuck with Headie's music, and you know what these men rap about, you have no right to knock them for what they're on. Because you appreciate everything they talk about. When they talk about their on-site, when they talk about this gang shit, when they talk about this road shit, you man consume it, and then they finally act upon it, and you're like, oh, you man should be doing better.
There's nothing wrong with acting upon it when you see someone that you have issues with. But there's a time and place though, isn't it?
Not really.
On a plane.
It is what it is.
On a plane.
We don't know what
bro.
happened, bro. Before you know, Headie could have been pulling his chair
It
back on
depends.
Tion Wayne.
On a plane. Are you man deep in what I'm saying? On a plane.
Hey, man.
Are you man not saying that it's basically okay for them to have done what they did?
I'm just
No.
saying, I don't think it's okay, but I get it.
There's levels to it.
I get it.
That beef clearly runs very deep.
Yeah, so
it's a thing where, okay, we're not
Bro,
talking no
50
more
and Jar
on site.
have been on planes together.
that's a whole
That's
different.
that's deeper than.
That's a whole nother tax
Yeah, but they're
bracket, bro.
grown.
That's a whole nother, and
They're
they're
grown.
grown. They man 45, 40 plus, and they're in another tax bracket. And America don't play. It's just that's a whole nother situation.
So you man think it's okay?
I'm just saying.
I don't think it's okay,
but I
but
get
I'm not
it.
surprised.
Yeah, I get it. If it's on site, it's on site.
These are two 25, 26-year-olds. They clearly been beefing beyond the music, before the music, and now they see each other after not seeing each other for ages, and they're still ops.
And you don't
Like,
know what
is
happened behind the scenes. Before you know, Tion told Headie, suck your mum. Or Headie, do you get what I'm saying? You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Whoever could have been riling up whoever. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we don't know the actual what happened.
So what's the story at the moment with regards to what happened?
No one actually knows. All we saw was the video. No one's talking because they're not going to talk. No one's going to blame the other person. Tell her, like, they both tweeted along the lines of, Tion tweeted along the lines of, it was mine, it is what it is, keep it pushing. And then Headie said, oh, man, I'm doing it for clout, whatever, keep pushing. And then Tion just sent back to Headie saying, what, clout? You're a dickhead. I done this. You get what I'm saying? So the actual story, no one's going to know because essentially it's rolled in it. Like, no one's who's going to find out. Like, if someone does something to me, you might want to know, but you're not going to tell anyone. Do you get what I'm saying? Obviously, the white people were scared.
Of course they were.
Oh my God.
But fam, I just think on a plane though.
Hey, man.
We don't even know if the plane was moving.
I don't think it was.
I
They
mean,
looked like they were
both made
very
it
sturdy.
back safe. It is what it is.
Yeah, they looked like they were very. I mean, they were standing still. If I was the plane driver in the air, I'm flipping the whole thing.
Bruv.
Sitting down or shut your
Alright, so Headie said little altercation with some quote unquote gangsters coming for a fight with their phones out. Clearly some couch chasing. I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm free. A hair on my head hasn't been touched. I'm having dinner steady. Then Tion Wayne quote tweeted.
Did he say a hair on his head?
No hair on his head has been touched. And Tion Wayne said, "Oh, you were internet boy. Now disappointing. Before the phones came out, I bust your boy's face. You lot ran into the kitchen, man. Don't back out, no phone."
And he said something else as well, innit?
He probably said a few other
Yeah,
things.
he said some other stuff as well.
Man replied to his boy bleeding by dashing Fanta, and he is here tweeting, "These guys always fall in the public, no real heart. Man called me a clout chaser. I've been airing these guys. They be saying my name in their songs every second, even the ones I don't know. I'm out."
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
We're not going to know what happened, but it's just not over, innit?
That's street beef. It's never going to be over.
It's not going to be over, it is what it is. And I'm sorry, bro. The people that are saying, not you essentially, but the people that are saying they should do better or whatever, if you listen to their music, I don't want to hear it, man. You support them, and then when they finally act upon it, it's like, oh my God. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't have your cake and eat it too, bro. You can't be happy for these. You can't support these man's music and all this, and then when they finally There's actions upon what they rap about. It's like, hang on a minute. And plus, these lot run on a different code to everyday people.
Yeah, but
Their code is different.
Mo, I don't know about that, bro.
we also live in a world, yeah, where people will talk all that shit on their music and they're not on smoke outside.
I agree with you. So when they're on
So
smoke,
what? Do we want these men to be on smoke?
yes, I do. I've
He's
been
always said
saying I
that,
want my
though.
rappers to live that life thing. You don't think I want Jadakiss to bang man if he pisses him off?
Bro, I can't lie to you. I'm very conflicted, man.
Nah.
As I get older, I'm growing more and more conflicted with it all.
I still need that.
Obviously,
growth.
I enjoy music with the street content and stuff, but that doesn't necessarily. If we get deep with it, like I don't know if I'm comfortable with not one black man gunning for another black man. Because we can look at it as entertainment, cool. As far as the music content, we can look at it as entertainment.
But it's real life.
But then it's real shit. Like perfect example is the King Von situation with Quando Rondo. That's some real shit. So are you gonna say the same shit where you're like, I want these men to be on smoke to the point where someone loses their life?
It's a tricky one. I get what you're saying. I'm not knocking you. By the way, Quando Rondo came out with another song yesterday. Can we get into it quickly? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he came out with a song yesterday. So King Von had a thing where it's a thing like he's got a lifetime story, part 1, part 2, part 3, and then he came out with a song yesterday saying the story's over or something like that. So taking a piss out of him, so disrespectful. So clearly that issue runs that's a whole nother deeper issue there.
But that's not. I mean,
So with me, the way I look at it, if I support your music and there's actions that come off the back of your music, I'm not a hypocrite and be like, oh shit, I don't know how I feel about it. Bro, you rap about it. If you live it, why would I be surprised? Like, it is what it is.
It's not a thing of being surprised, it's a thing of wanting it.
Do I want violence?
No, do you want them to live their lives through their lyrics or live their lyrics through their, you know what I'm saying?
I want them to live their truth. If that's their truth, that's their truth.
But sometimes these men aren't living their truth, they're just chatting.
That's my point. They don't rap about it. My only point is, if you're a street rapper and that's your truth, then live your truth. If you're not, then don't do it. Obviously, we know half of these men don't live that life. We can, maybe 90% of them.
I think a lot of it depends on age as well. Like as you get older, especially if you're from that lifestyle, if you're from that type of environment, you're going to be on that kind of smoke. As you become more successful, the shit around you is going to change.
Naturally.
So if you're then still talking about all that stuff, then you're not living your truth.
Yeah, I agree.
You have to grow with the music and you have to grow with your experiences. But some people, like Headie, Tion, Quando Rondo, King Von, like they're still in an environment more or less where
they're still touching
the shit that they talk about, they rap about is justified.
They're still close to it.
You know what I'm saying?
And these men are not like the first ones to have like street beef,
and they won't be the last.
Kind of spill into music. But I don't know, man. I'm just finding, I think, especially with what's been going on in rap nowadays, man. There's just a lot of violence. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people actually losing their lives and shit, or an attempt is being made to take their lives. And I don't know, man. It's just kind of left me in a place where I'm just questioning it all, man. I'm questioning even some of the music that I enjoy listening to. I'm questioning whether is there something wrong with that? Enjoying
that's a whole nother
the street content.
I don't think so, man, because I've always said that I'm kind of living vicariously through the people who are rapping. I know for a fact, if I was on the streets, if I was like a gunner like that, I just would be the worst one because I'm just not built like that. Sometimes you just like that escapism. Sometimes you just like to listen to shit that has nothing to do with what you're about or nothing to do with your environment. Gangster rap, drill, whatever. So there's nothing wrong with listening to that sort of thing. When you encourage that sort of lifestyle from your rappers, that's where it gets techie, I say. If I listen to Headie One talking about chinging this man and chinging that man, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, he deserved that, this, that, and the other. Just basically encouraging the person.
Oh, yeah,
if that's what they rap about and that's what their life is about, then that's what their life is about. That's the environment.
They're just living their truth.
That's the environment. It's kind of like the whole drill debate. Like, does drill, and we talked about it, does drill have a right to exist? Of course it has a right to exist because these are people talking about their experiences. If they're talking about if their experiences are, you know, gunning for their ops or whatever, they're just going to live it. They're going to live it. And that's just what it is. What needs to happen is something bigger than rap. They need to be out of those environments.
Yeah, for real.
So you can't really beat yourself. I wouldn't say beat yourself up too tough.
No, I don't beat myself up, but sometimes I just find myself just thinking about it, man. Do you know what I mean? Because we've always enjoyed the street content, and I'm all for expressing yourself through your art, telling your story. But there's a very thin line between talking about experiences and glorifying it, and that's where I start asking certain questions. Do you get what I'm saying? Especially like with King Von, even like when Benny the Butcher getting shot, Boosie and all them man there, like it's just like
it's been a weird.
Do you know what I mean? It just has me looking at things a bit differently. Like,
But isn't rapping about your experiences in essence glorifying them?
No.
Well, in this particular example, you could argue that if I'm talking about chigging one man, jigging another man, you could argue that it's glorifying.
I think if you're talking about your experiences in the streets, I don't know if it's glorification or not. I don't think so. I just think you're just talking about your experiences and the mindset and the mentality and the ills that come with that, as well as some of the positives that I guess come with it.
Well, if we're talking solely about street beef, then you could argue that it's glorifying. But it also depends on who you ask. If you ask any of us, they'd probably say they're just delivering their truth. They're talking about their truth. Other audiences might say they're glorifying it because they don't seem at all conflicted by what they're rapping about.
Why would they though? That's all they know.
Yeah.
That's all you know.
I thought that's where humanity comes into it.
Yeah.
Like, even if you have been through those experiences, you're talking about them. Like, how do you feel about them generally? Like, it's all well and good to talk about them, but how do you feel about them? Like, do you feel conflicted? Do you feel happy that you've done this? Do you feel sad that you've done this sort of thing? So I guess
that's
it just
a
depends.
whole nother. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It depends on who you ask, but it's a fine line. I think with Headie and Tion, it's just going to continue, and it's like, as they're still, well, I don't know, I can't speak for them, but they're still linked to people that are about that life and stuff. I mean, as we saw on the plane, like, they clearly, like, when they see each other, it's like it's on sight. So
Yeah.
if they then rap about it, later on songs to come and shit, I'm not going to be surprised that they do that, because
That's who they are. That's what they're doing.
Mm.
I'm not, by the way, I'm not saying I want them to go down and slice each other's faces. I'm just saying, if that's what you rap about, that's your truth. It's your truth.
Mm.
Do you get what I mean? Like, I'm not going to tell someone, nah, what you playing at? It's a weird one. I'm not going to tell someone, nah, what you playing at? That's the life you live, and that's the life you're living at the moment. Obviously, I would love to see growth from my rappers, but if that's what that's what the life you're living right now, that's the life you're living right now. I've got a question for you, Yemi, because I feel like you will know this.
Well, before you do that, some rappers do go on record and try to go the other side. Drillers do it all the time. Chief Keef has done it a few times as well.
Chief Keef's done it.
So they do that. That side of it.
Pop Smoke was on his way to doing it.
Yeah. That side of it, I'm probably not on as much, because you're actively trying to bait someone to then retaliate.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant as in changing from drill to...
No.
Oh, sorry.
No.
I'll take Pop Smoke out of it, sorry.
As in, if we're ops and I kill your boy.
Oh, apologies. I misheard the question. Yeah.
And then I rap about killing your boy, or he deserved it. Like the Gucci Jeezy situation.
Yeah.
Then that incites violence. That incites a reaction.
That's different.
And that's different.
That's different. Like Quando just done yesterday when he rapped about King Von's death, mocking it.
Yeah.
So literally...
But with Gucci and Jeezy, I don't think... We all have to remember, man, everything that Gucci did and said was in response to what Jeezy did and said at the beginning. Do you know what I mean? Jeezy sent for him first, physically and on record. Do you know what I mean? He actually sent someone to this guy's yard. So
yeah,
I'm not so much mad at the repercussions of that or the response to that. I just wonder, as fans, do we play a dangerous game when, you know, we say that, yo, I want my street rappers to really be about what they're talking about? Because essentially with us saying that, we're pretty much encouraging more street shit, and the violence and the consequences that come from that.
No, I think it's
that's
fair,
why I'm asking the question.
To answer your question, yes, it is a dangerous game, because you're actively, whether you're consciously or subconsciously, encouraging your rappers to not only rap about the same shit, but to perpetuate the shit that they rap about. So if you want them to keep rapping about, you know, sending a hit on someone or killing someone, then they might have to do that in real life in order to actually justify rapping about it, which incites more violence and begets more violence. So yeah, to answer your question, I'd probably say, yeah, it is a dangerous game. At the same time,
it's what you sign up for.
It's what you sign up.
When you rap about it, if you really live it,
it depends on how you're rapping about it, though.
That's true.
Because not every person that's rapping about it is saying is glorifying.
It's glorifying.
Like I said, do you get what I'm saying? It just depends on how you're doing it.
Can you think of a
if it's
rapper
just
that...
because there are some artists that keep it just music. And it can be just that. We can talk all this smack. We may not like each other in real life, but we both have a mutual understanding where we're going to chat shit about each other on record. That's as far as it's going to go.
That's perfect. I could give you an example.
Can you think of an example?
J and R's. J and R's was the perfect example.
But that was never... Was that ever really street shit?
It could have gotten that. I think it could have.
But I think that's the difference between...
Actually, no. Better example. Beanie Siegel and Jadakiss, when Rockefeller and
that's
D
actually a
Block were
perfect
going at
example,
it, and I've heard numerous interviews where that could have easily gone street because I remember Jadakiss saying it specifically. He was like, "Yo, I want to run into these guys," and I imagine Beanie Siegel and that man had the same sort of mentality. Like they were, even when Rockefeller and that were doing the freestyle at Hot 97, I specifically remember Jadakiss saying in the interview that when he heard them rapping the way they were rapping and saying what they were saying, he literally wanted to go to the station with a gun. So there are beefs where
They keep it on wax.
it could have gotten serious, but something happened where they had a mutual understanding that, you know what, let's just keep it record. Do you know what I mean? And they've Sheik Luch as well said that, yo, they'd seen Freeway in a hotel, and he thought for a second, wait, should we jump this man? And he was like, no, you know what? Let me go and have a conversation with him. So I think there are numerous examples where, do you know what I mean, there's a mutual understanding that you know what, let's just keep it on record. But I don't know.
I mean, we might be living in a new.
I feel like it's way more real in London, man. In London, there's none of that. I don't think the London MCs can ever just keep it on record, man. If they put it on record, it's probably because they're prepared for something to happen in the street if it hasn't happened already.
Yeah, because London's too small.
London's too small.
It's way
I
too
do
small.
think there's one rapper that always wants to keep on racks. That's Chip.
Yeah.
I think Chip always wants to keep on. That's why Chip, essentially, you remember when Stormzy went to Chip's house?
Yeah.
And Chip put the video on Insta.
Chip's first line
Chip
to that song was,
was-
"I know where you live too," but that's not the point of it.
Yeah, Chip always wants to just keep it on wax. But there's a reason why Stormzy went to his house. Like you said, London, I don't think we played them games to where it's only just going to be bars. We're going to have to see each other at some point. But London's so small that... And
UK
with
in
London, I
general.
feel like it's an ego thing as well. Like, yo, he just mocked you. Like, we let our pride go ahead of ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Because it's so small, you go out 2 seconds. Hey, he's taking a piss out of you, brother. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think that plays a part. That's
sure.
to why we don't just keep it on record.
Yeah.
What was your question?
Who's that white boy that got involved?
Morrison. He is a rapper. Raps on drill. I think he's from like West Ham sides. He's actually alright. Believe it or not. But I guess he must have been part of the entourage.
Yeah,
and
I've just
he
seen
was-
him stopping it, and then I was like,
He was getting in. He was getting. I mean, he wasn't trying to see that happen.
yeah, no, salute to him. He tried to stop it. It was just, I've never heard of him. I've never seen him. I was just like, who's that?
You might. Well, I say you might like him, but you might not. Like, you probably won't like him. But he makes good enough music.
Does he?
Yeah, he makes good enough music.
I'll
I mean,
check-
it's
I'll
not
check
for
him
me. I'm not gonna listen to like a whole like hour of him. I'll take him in doses, but he's alright.
Would you man say that also because of the type of art form that rap is, a lot of these situations are inevitable?
To a degree, yeah.
Okay.
To a degree, especially as it relates to pre-existing beef outside of music.
And where a lot of rappers come from is the streets anyway, so naturally, it's gonna be that element's always gonna be there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the reason why I said that is because obviously, like with rapping, that like these man, like they get at each other, they clash, and it's all about showing you have better skill than the next man, innit? So I guess with that sort of confrontational style of making music, I guess everything else that comes from that is bound to come from that. Like, you ain't never heard like Miles Davis getting that Charlie
Come on,
Parker.
man. Come on.
Do you know what I'm saying? That man, if their man had beef, it was probably like off the trumpet.
Yeah, probably.
Do you know what I'm saying?
One or two.
So I think it's also because of the type of art
They
form
probably had a scat
that the
battle.
genre of music is.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
Oh
what it
yeah,
is.
for sure.
That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
Rappers,
Yeah,
but
that's
rap is the most combative genre. Other genres, you don't really. Okay, let me give you an example.
That's what makes rap so
Like,
special.
The Britpop days, Blur and Oasis, the media perpetuated a rivalry between them. Never turned to street shit. It was just like who had the best-selling single or album that year or whatever.
but then the art form like is from the streets as well. So I guess it shouldn't really be that much of a shock for me that street shit happens
That's
as well.
what
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's literally. All
Doesn't mean I
like,
want it to though.
I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying I want violence. I
Shit,
just
you
want
could've fooled
people.
me.
I just want people to live.
I
their
feel like you
truth.
enjoy the crowd.
I don't enjoy the.
You definitely enjoy the crowd.
Mo, you enjoy the crowd.
You might not necessarily
You like the
actively
tension.
want it.
No, I don't actively.
You don't want
it.
anyone to lose their life.
Yeah, I don't want
But
death.
you're happy for them to have like physical confrontations.
Yeah, a little bit.
See, I'm not. I don't want that.
No, it's hard. I'm just saying.
Sometimes it's unavoidable though.
Yeah, man.
Of course, of
all I
course.
want my rappers to do, and if this means I don't want anyone to lose their life. That's number one. But if you're rapping about something, I just want you to live that truth. Obviously, you could grow as an artist, but I want you musically to grow as well, and I want you to grow as a man.
Living your truth, man. But what does that even mean, though?
Whoever
bro?
you are, you are.
Yeah, but if somebody's speaking about street experiences and you
There's
say, "Yo, live
difference
your
between-
truth,"
there's a
do you
difference-
want them to keep
no.
living that
There's a
street?
there's a difference between experience and talking about what you're doing now.
How so?
Jay-Z spoke about experiences.
Yeah,
Jay-Z
but-
doesn't speak about
but
what's
a lot of
happening
it was,
now.
yeah, but Mo, a lot of it's metaphoric language as well.
That's true.
You can use street slang, street vocab, and speak in a way where you're. If I'm talking about my rap skills, I can flip it in a street way.
Bro, there's a difference when it comes to drill. They're only speaking about one thing. They are talking about one thing.
Don't do that to Drew.
If like
No, I'm not saying, but you know what?
There's
I
like
mean.
two. Or
so, if
three
a
more
random
things.
rapper's
What?
2 or 3 more things. I thought you know.
so if a random rapper's talking about how his gun go off, he's not talking about his skills on the microphone.
Shut up.
Like, do you know how
Shut up.
disappointed I'll be? In some of my, like, I don't. I'm
was
not
a
saying that because I
that was a
want
shoot
man
for
to-
free off the rim, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, that went off the backboard, fam. But yeah, man, it's a hard one. I don't want violence. I just want my wherever you just live your truth, whatever that means, innit? I don't want anyone to lose their life.
But like you said, Pete, it's a very fine line between talking about it and encouraging it.
Yeah,
But at the same time, like I said, depending on who you ask, the two could be interchangeable. Indirectly, you might be encouraging it just because you're talking about it, which, you know, is unfortunate, but some people will take it that way. And if that's the case, then they'll be more expectant for you to not only rap about it, but act it out.
Yeah.
Especially if it's got ongoing beef right now. Like I said, if I was beefing Mo and we were continuously beefing and I was continuing to diss him on wax, then that's living the truth in a sense, because we're still beefing like in
and
real
you've
time.
got to be prepared for whatever happens. I'm sure they're both prepared if they see each other.
I mean, Headie wasn't prepared. He just kind of didn't do anything.
Yeah, man, he was moving like a street fighter.
But if
Street Fighter when they go like
so
that.
let me ask you
Like
guys a question then. If two rappers had beef before they both became rappers, do they have a responsibility to keep it on the streets, or are they allowed to put it on record as well?
They're allowed to put it on record. I don't expect them to keep it solely street because you're using. There's a thing with this because you can commercialize the beef. You can make money off the beef. So why not put it on record and let people know what's going on? Especially if it's like a well-known rapper as well.
Is it?
It kind of adds to your lore.
But you can push it to a deeper place too, where
sure.
it becomes more serious than it.
I
than it
think,
was.
I think you should just keep it off
For sure.
record. I think you should just keep it to the streets.
Shit like that has ended in death in the drill scene.
Yeah, I think you should just keep it on. I think you should just keep it to the streets. There's no need to bring it onto the record.
Because even the big,
If it was pre-existing before they were rappers.
I think you're asking a lot of your rappers though.
No, I'm just saying that. Yeah, if it's real like that.
New age rappers anyway.
Yeah, if it's real like that, just keep it. But I feel like the way the world is now, they can't help it but to speak about it on record.
But it's also a thing where like I'm gonna get at my opponent in the best possible way by letting people know, the whole world know how much of a pagan they are. So it's one-upsmanship. So there's a lot of like dynamics that go into it.
Yeah.
I don't think, I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but it's very unlikely if you do have street beef with someone, if you're both artists, to keep it on the street.
Especially in London.
Especially in London.
Especially in London, man.
Or anywhere like.
Now, I feel like in America, you can
Anywhere in the UK anyway. Like
sorry,
Birmingham.
sorry, yeah.
Birmingham is like worse than London, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's mad.
You can't. Yeah, you have. They'll speak about it. Yeah, with America, you could get away with ignoring people. Obviously, this one's street shit, but it works for Stormzy not saying anything. That was perfect.
That's because he's a mega star, innit?
he will though, man.
No, I'm just saying, but it's worked for him because as soon as Chip sent for him again, now Chip looks desperate. So I guess depends how you look at it. It worked for him.
You think he looks desperate now?
After the second day, I think he's pleading for attention. I think Chip's pleading for attention after the second diss. You dropped 2 songs, cool. He hasn't responded. 2 months later, you want to come back with another song? It's okay. Do you get what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Do you not think that it was unnecessary?
The Ignite song.
Yeah,
It was a banger.
but was it?
No, it wasn't necessary. I mean, but those were light jabs. I didn't consider them a direct. Those are light jabs.
Chill out, man.
But also like his lyrics on it, like they're more general.
Yeah.
But the little at the beginning,
Yeah, he
that
knew
was
it was-
clearly
he knew it was it.
yeah, you know what I mean. So
Because I
I feel you,
remember when the trailer came and I sent it to you. Like, all 3 of us said the same thing. Like, you're overdoing it.
I think he did that on purpose though,
Yeah.
to make it seem as if he was going for him again. But then when you actually hear the whole song, of course you could aim at it. It's an indirect, but it's not direct. I don't think.
Yeah, man. They just relax a little bit.
I don't even think Killer MC was that direct. I think Only Flowers was the direct,
The petrol station one.
the petrol station.
That's the
one.
most direct one.
And then obviously Stormzy's boy responded.
He shouldn't have. Stormzy should have told his boy chill. Like he should have told his boy all the way relax. All the way relax.
But I think he's so detached from the situation. Like he probably doesn't even know that his boy did it.
Bro,
Because he's out here performing at McDonald's festival. He's on a video set with Lowski. You know, he's just out here just
his boy,
doing philanthropy.
That song was ridiculous, bro.
Which one?
The one his boy dropped.
Oh yeah. I mean,
It was horrendous, man.
it wasn't good.
Nah, Pete, look at me. Nah, look at me, bro. It was bad. Like bad.
It was bad,
Like ridiculously bad.
and he was very like defensive about it on Twitter.
Oh, what people getting onto him?
People were getting onto him.
Yeah, but why did he do that?
I can't remember.
He knew what he was gonna do. He
I
gave,
don't care to remember.
Did you hear about him before that day?
I still don't know who he is.
I
No
didn't
one
even know
knows.
it, but I'm just saying. Did
Bro,
you know who he was before
Bro,
that day?
he had literally 7.5 minutes of fame. Not even the whole 15.
Yeah, I can't even. Do you know his name?
Bruv. Blank.
You know when Yemi don't know your name, you're pissed. Because Yemi knows everyone.
This guy knows everyone, man.
I'm saying. But yeah, nah. Not at all. But hey man, listen, we hope that no one gets hurt throughout all this.
Yeah.
Like I think nowadays, especially the younger generation, they're just so much more fearless in that respect. So they'll just
They're on everything.
tell a man to suck their mum on record
They are
and
on
shit.
everything, man. The
Are
younger
we-
generation, they scared the life out of me, bruv.
Are
These
we
man
getting
on
to the age
everything.
now where we're at the point now where we look at the younger generation like they're mad?
100%.
Of course.
Because the older generation looked at us like we're mad.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? We're
Our
at the-
generation was mad, though.
yeah, but that's my point. But now we're
Because we
looking
grew up in like the happy slapping era.
Oh,
Like,
we're
we,
getting slapped on the
we
149.
were, yeah.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if we grew up in a time where it was all.
PYG.
That's when it really started being documented, like getting rushed, getting robbed. Like, so yeah, our era was mad, but this drill era,
Man are dying left, right, center.
they're different though, man. I say to Yemi and Rich all the time, these drill artists scared the life out of me, bruv.
They're very, very fearless.
These men are all mad. They fear nothing. They don't. What's consequences? They don't give a fuck.
No, I agree with you. I agree with
Just to ensure that their rep in the streets is still intact. That's all they care about. And someone that doesn't even really care about themselves, but only cares about how they're perceived by people around them, they're dangerous.
you. But that's how we grew up. Might not be the same level, but that's how we grew up.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that's exactly how
We grew up in a great
yeah.
and dangerous times too.
That's how we grew up as well. I didn't care about how you really care.
Neither
about,
did I.
Yeah, like you really,
I cared about how my friends
how
looked
my
at me.
friends looked at me, and how other the wider people looked at me. I didn't care how I looked at. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you just do what you need to do.
I mean, I would argue that it's pretty much the same our era as the next era. It's just this era now, it's documented more.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Nah,
I don't.
there's a slight, like, so the screw was unhinged with ours. With this new generation, it's unhinged just a tad bit further.
So you're saying the next generation is coming all the way off?
Boy, let's hope not.
So where you're talking?
But what does
Let's-
that mean?
let's
Though?
hope
What
not.
does that mean though? Does it mean like as soon as I see my up, I'm shooting him, I'm stabbing him right there and then
people
broad
still do that.
daylight?
I mean, it
people do that now.
That's what I mean. So
But
what does that
people
mean?
do
What
that
does that
in our
mean?
generation.
But what does that? But I'm asking, what does completely off mean?
Our generation, like, I think we calmed down when we got to a certain age.
I think everyone will though.
Yeah, but we're still talking about kids here. Not Headie and Tion. Forget that was mine. I'm just about the drill. Like what? 18, 19, 20. They're still youths.
Bro, when we were 18, 19, we weren't on that shit.
Depends on who you are, man.
We're different though. We're not
Bro,
from,
it
we're not
depends on
from
who
the streets.
you are, man. I
We're
know
street
man-
smart, but we're not from the streets.
I know,
But
man.
I don't even like associates, I don't know that were on as much crud as these men were on.
You know associates that were on crud after 21, right?
Yeah, I know people that are still on crud,
That's my point. Some people just don't leave it.
but they're calm with it.
Because they're 28, 29. At 23, 24, where they calm with it, they were still on crud.
But I also think that's a generational difference. Maybe by the time these younger ones are our age, they're either going to be the same, they're going to be worse,
Or they'll be still.
or they'll just be chilling.
Maybe our generation was like the precursor for this new one, because even like, obviously because things started getting recorded when we were growing up, now everything is online. You got the Instagrams, you got the Twitter, so people are being exposed. You have way more opinions, way more eyes. That's way more anxiety. That's way more people you need to show that you're something that you may not be. It's probably even worse now,
That's how Donnie's get
because
killed.
somebody that you don't even know can have an opinion on something that you've gotten yourself involved
We didn't have that
in.
growing up.
We didn't have that.
We didn't have that growing up.
But it started in our generation, because like when they started recording happy slaps and that, videos were circulating around people and you didn't know who
Yeah,
the
but
people
how
were
old was
involved.
that? Year 11?
Yeah,
I
like
was
around them
like-
times. Do you know what I mean? So
What?
I was younger. I was like, 9 when Happy Slapping was
I
a
got
thing.
my first phone in
Yeah, 9, year 10.
11, first year college.
Yeah.
So it's a weird one, man. I think you're right. I think the social media aspect plays. These lot are the way they're recording now compared to how he was, everything's documented.
Yeah.
Everything. Kids can't be kids anymore. They have to live up to an image now. You can't be a kid in this generation.
I wanted to talk about violence. I had it in my head. I wanted to talk about like the recent violence in rap, and I wanted to see where you man's head was at with all of it. Just because to me it was just a bit like a lot is happening right now,
Bro,
man.
Benny,
And it just doesn't
Boosie,
feel.
King
There's
Voss.
something weird in the air. It feels like.
Yeah. I
You know what
agree
I'm
with
saying?
you. I
So-
agree with you.
It's been bothering me.
Yeah, I hear that.
So I wanted to see what you man felt about it all.
Yeah, man. It's a tough one.
I just still hope that no one in the States, no one further gets hurt. And I just hope like even like the street man here that have beef can find a way to like just not push it further.
Let it go
I
past
get
a
it,
certain
man.
point.
Like in society, man, we all have conflicts with people and we all deal with those conflicts in different ways. So I get it. But obviously because these lot of musicians and that, how we see it's different to how we would two random guys in society or two random girls in society having issues. So I don't know.
I've got a question for you guys though,
Mm.
because this came up on a group chat, and so I completely disagreed with it. But I'll ask you lot: do Tion and Headie have a role as role models to do better?
I mean, we've spoken about this, and
Yeah.
I think I've changed my mind on the whole role model.
I
thing.
disagree with it completely. I don't think it's there. Just quickly, I don't mean to cut you out. I don't think they have any role as a role model
Listen,
to do. I don't.
I've
believe in it.
said
Whether they, sorry, I'm gone.
I've said the whole musicians as role models thing is a massive cop out.
I agree with you there.
But they don't have a choice. But they are
do
role
have a
models.
choice.
Even if they choose not to be, they are role models.
It's not. They didn't ask for it.
Because you have whenever you have a level of influence, you become a role model, man. Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, but then
There's a responsibility there. You can't
anybody
help
that I don't mean to cut you off. Any kid that takes on Tion Wayne and Headie as their role models should not be surprised that they done what they done.
But
then.
bro, you're saying that, but we were once 17, 18 and we looked up to 50 Cents and the Jada Kisses and that. And now, obviously, they've grown now. But even then, like, they weren't people that we should have been looking up to. So
And
you can't say that.
No,
There
I'm
were
not
gonna
saying
be
that-
people that
No,
look up to
I'm not
Headie
saying
and
I'm not saying they shouldn't look up to them. I'm saying when 50 and Jada was our role models growing up, if they were, say they were our role models, and if they got into real street shit, we was not surprised because that's the reason why they were our role
We
models
liked
subconsciously.
it.
But here's
That's
the
my
question,
point.
though.
So therefore,
But if any of them
are
did,
their role models,
but if any of them did anything that made them look like an idiot or just painting them in a bad light, would you be disappointed in them? Because obviously you looked up to them. Would you be disappointed in anything they did that you might construe as negative or
course.
foolish? So you'd be
Of course.
disappointed.
Of course.
So in that sense, yeah, I suppose subconsciously everyone is a role model. Do they ask for it? No. Are they responsible?
no,
I'm inclined to say no. Like just because that role has been thrusted upon you, that title has been thrusted upon you, doesn't mean you have to live up to it.
I think like when we hear the word role model, I think we're thinking that like you have to be an
Goody.
angel and
Goody, goody.
flawless. We're all flawed, man. We all make mistakes. You being a role model doesn't mean that you can't still fuck up. But whether we like it or not, they are role models to like these young boys. It is what it is.
and I'm saying the reason
They have influence, bro.
No, I agree with you, and I'm saying the reason why they're role models is because most probably they love what they're talking about. So therefore, this won't sour it one way or another.
Rappers are role models.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I don't think they should be. I don't think anyone should be. That's just my personal opinion. I don't agree with the whole you look up to athletes or rappers as a role model, which maybe it's because of how I grew up. Yeah, I listened to these guys, but I wouldn't say I looked up to them in terms of a role model.
I'm different, and I looked up to a lot of rappers growing up, and I felt like, yo, I want to be like this person. There are certain attributes that they have where I've seen outside the music too, where I felt like, yo, like I really want to like aspire to do something similar. Obviously, I've mentioned Jay-Z once an episode in it, so clearly he's been someone that I've looked
That's
up
what
to.
one
in
of
my
the-
life. Do you know what I'm saying? But like just little things that he's done. I say little things that he's done in his life. I've wanted to aspire to do something similar. 50 Cent, how he was able to come from where he came from and be a success and make all the money that he's made. These rappers are role models because they represent coming from the fucking dirt and reaching a certain point where they are successes.
Yeah, but my problem
They are always going to be role models to young black boys in every hood. We can't avoid that. And we should not, I don't think we should even allow these men to not be responsible for that. They should own that. Us saying that
don't
they're
have
not
to.
role models, I don't think it's fair.
I don't think they have to.
I think that's
I don't think it's fair for
I
them
don't
to
think
have
it's- I
to.
don't think it's
I
fair.
think
to-
that's a cop out.
I don't think it's fair to point
That's
on
not.
them.
That's not fair for them to just because it's been thrust upon them for them to just accept it.
Yeah.
Because at the same time as you argue, they're humans. They do fuck up.
Yeah, but
they make
accepting it
mistakes.
doesn't mean you don't fuck up though.
Yeah,
but,
but
you still understand that, yo, I am a role model for these young kids out here. You can't run away from that.
Oh, but you're good with them fucking up because
Of course, we're flawed.
Okay, yeah, I'm just
We're
waiting,
gonna
I'm just-
fuck up.
yeah.
But be conscious though.
Like, know what you done.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I think it's
Be
a
conscious,
hard one.
bro.
I just think these guys just want to live their life, and that's a burden they
course
don't
they
want to carry.
It's not that simple, man.
I don't think it's a burden they want to
I don't-
carry.
I think you man are making it make it seem like it's way more simple than it is. It's not that simple. When you have a career, when you're in the public eye, man, it's not as simple as I just want to live my life. Nah.
No, I'm not saying it is that simple. I'm saying that ideally that's what they want to do. I'm saying
Word.
ideally
Then
they would have.
they should have gone into fucking the corporate world, then, innit?
You say just with big roles comes what's the saying?
Bro, when you become a musician, a successful musician, it comes with it. It's inevitable.
Yeah,
Sorry, but it is what it
You
is.
apologize for
I mean, it is what it is. I still don't agree.
And not just rappers.
athletes.
Yeah. Maybe there's something to be said about how we are in society as well. That we want some type of
It says a lot about society.
some type of leader.
It says a lot about society that they look at public figures like actors and musicians as role models. Those shouldn't be the role models of society.
Malcolm
We
X
know
is-
this.
Malcolm X has a great quote. You'll Google it.
What was it?
Where he just says, "Why do we look at when you look at?" And I don't mean to bring race into it, but when you look at white people who their role models are, they've got people in each position. Whereas when it comes to us, our role models are just if they want someone to speak to us, they'll bring us the athletes. If they want someone to speak to us, they'll bring the musicians.
I mean, I feel like that's because they kill all of our activists and our societal leaders.
Yeah, I agree.
So we are still
was
searching
before,
for
yeah,
someone
yeah,
to latch onto.
Yeah.
So it's easy to go to like an actor or a musician because that's like
But that's why it's a
that's the
cop-out.
closest thing to success that we see, apart from like in the spotlight anyway.
I think I said it in the previous episode. Like people like, I know you don't like him, but people like David Lammy, Diane Abbott, people like that should be the role models, innit? But because, as you say, we're constantly looking for that massive outside of like entertainment role model, we're putting that title on entertainers. My issue with that is like, once you have that label put on you, anything negative that you do, you're then just judged for it because you're meant to be a role model when you're supposed to be, when you're allowed to just live your life.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's fair.
Because to you, they're still.
But that's where a lot of people-
role models can make mistakes.
But I feel like there are a lot of people who feel like they can't because they're role models.
Boy, then
And that's what muddies up the argument for me.
boy, that's up to them to have like real knowledge of self and understand what comes with what does it actually mean to be a role model. Like once you really understand it, then I think you'll be okay. Because if you get that it doesn't mean you're perfect, then you'll be all right.
So basically, you don't want role models fighting on a plane.
I wasn't even speaking about that. I think it's mad. Full stop. I'm not trying to see like black people fight each other, man. I'm at that point right now, innit?
Yeah.
And I understand that's unrealistic, but that's just how I feel. So I'm not happy to see Tion Wayne and my man fighting. I'm not happy to see that. I get it, but I'll never be happy to see that. But it is what it is, isn't it? And not because they're role models, but just because they're both young black men making money at it.
Yeah.
And obviously they got street beef and that's fine, but there's something bigger at play here, innit? There's something larger. There's something bigger. There's a bigger plan here, innit? There's so much more that can be done. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, look beyond what's in front of you.
At the same time, though, like obviously their beef is bigger than just music.
Yeah, of course.
So there's a lot. There's a couple big things at play, really. And ultimately, when it comes to that sort of stuff, bragging rights, street cred, all of that, especially in those flipping mad 1 second moments where you see an op and you want to gun for them, that's what trumps all.
And bro, man, I don't know how I sound to whoever's listening, and I don't want it to come across like I'm like, you know, self-righteous and all of that, because I've been in situations where there's someone I don't like and it's on site and we fought. So I 100% get it. But as we get older, as we continue to elevate, I think the mind should also elevate, and you should get to a point where, I don't know, man, just don't be don't submit to your ego.
But
so
you
much.
know
Some
where
people
their
aren't built for
mindset
that.
is, though, innit?
So sorry,
I don't mean to cut
Morgan.
you off, sorry. But you understand where their mindset is.
100%. 100%.
I'm just saying, yeah. So you.
I can
clearly,
still
yeah.
want better though.
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying, but you still understand why.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. We all do. We're men.
yeah, I agree with you.
We know what we're like.
Yeah, exactly. But and ultimately, and not to be like negative, I feel like some people just aren't capable of that. I don't think they're capable of seeing past their ego, and that results in what we see in rap and what we see in street beef. Like some people just can't do it.
The ego is a mad thing, though, isn't it? Like we all need our ego. Our ego makes up us. Do you know what I mean? So you can't completely forego it, but in certain situations, you need to find like you need to. I guess you need to think from a higher point where you're not falling victim to the nearest impulse that you feel when you are in a situation where it's fight or flight, so to speak.
Some of these men need more pussy.
Are you keeping it in?
Yes. Listen,
Ego.
I don't know
a
what to
nut?
say to that.
that post-nut clarity, yeah, maybe I was tripping.
Okay, yeah. From that
That's all.
perspective,
That's all. That's all I meant. Listen, you might
Anyone
listen.
got some before the flight,
Listen.
yeah, he'll just be like,
Listen,
I feel you. A lot of clarity.
I'm just saying that
comes
post-nut
clarity.
That post-nut clarity will probably have some of them, not all of them, but maybe some of them. Maybe I was tripping, and then maybe less conflicts will happen. That's all.
hey man, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Salute to both artists though.
Yeah, man. Salute to both. I hope they figure it out.
Boy, speaking of that, man.
Yeah, but whose music do you prefer? Yemi, Tion or Headie?
Overall headies.
Peter?
I don't listen to either one of them.
No.
Oh, Headie all day long.
Tion got hits though. He got bangers.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Is one of the best tunes of the year.
I fuck with Tion Wayne heavy. Just unbiased in it.
Yeah, he's got Keisha and Becky. He's got I don't know. That
Oh, I like that song.
with Keisha Becky.
Yeah.
Okay.
That song that post of the week, I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, that one.
The Grind Don't Stop. I used to rinse
I think he's
that
got
when it
another
first came
big
out.
one. I can't remember.
When Grind Don't Stop came out, I used to rinse it, bro.
Oh, he's got options as well
Yeah.
with NSG.
NSG.
So he's got.
At one point, he was everywhere.
Maybe he's still everywhere.
At one point, Tion was. I know you don't listen to him, but at
Yeah.
one point, Tion was like he was popping up everywhere.
I can respect it, man.
But shout out to Headie One, man.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, shout out to Headie One.
Shout out to both of them.
he-
You know, hopefully they never see each other on a plane
Yeah.
again, let alone.
And I
anywhere.
hope people don't overlook it. Headie's had a great year musically as well, so I hope people don't
They
forget.
both have. They
Yeah.
both have.
Yeah, they both have. They both have. So I hope the people don't overlook it. That the great year they both had musically, and you can see their growth. And you could Headie especially, you can see the growth from when he first started. So I hope people don't overlook it.
You, man, do you feel like all rappers should have security?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
100%. That's just common sense.
But you know who their security is? Demand them.
Yeah, nah, man.
Yeah, nah.
No, but that is though. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
but
that's the security for these man.
That should not be the case.
That's the security for these man.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
For sure, they should always have security. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Mos Def. I don't care if you're flipping Macklemore. You should have security.
Ain't no one trying to
When
do nothing
you
to
when
Malcolm.
you reach a certain level of notoriety as a rapper, how do you feel about rappers that don't go back to the hood now?
do you mean visit
Especially
or,
with all this, all like
do you mean visit or just not make it better or just leave it completely and never come back?
both.
That's wrong. That's wrong. At least make
I
it.
think
At
it depends,
least,
bro.
nah, you gotta do something. At least do a rec center or
The
something.
reason why
bro.
I asked is because I think when Benny the Butcher got shot, he was at a Walmart in Atlanta. Oh no, sorry, Dallas. A Walmart. And
A Walmart.
and guys tried to rob him.
Okay.
So I think it was in the hood,
I'm not saying you.
which is why I asked that question.
Yeah, I'm not saying go back to your hood and kick back. I'm saying, but you've got a duty to go back to your hood and at least take care of it.
You have a duty.
Give back. Yeah.
Give back.
You have a duty to go back to your. If I become wealthy, like I'm doing very well with money. I think I've got a duty to go back to Tottenham and at least sort something out for the kids because I know how it was when I came up there. I know how it was when I was growing
I
up.
think it very much depends on your situation now. Have you got long-standing beefs in the hood? Do you have?
You don't need to go back to the hood to sort that out.
I mean,
You mean
don't-
physically?
but that's
You don't need to physically go back. I don't
Yeah,
need to
but-
go
but
Tottenham
Mo,
to
but
sort
Mo-
out
yeah, but
indoors
Mo.
indoors football thing for
Yeah, but Mo,
kids.
we live in a world where the dream of going back to the hood is you physically going back to the hood.
No, I feel you. I'm
and
just,
like building a
no,
fucking
I feel you.
rec
I'm-
center or
I
something.
feel you. I'm just saying
That's
how.
mad old then.
No, okay, I said rec center as well. I don't know why.
Feel you.
I'm not saying you need to come back and chill and stuff, but to me personally, every artist, depending on how much money you make, by the way, not everyone's money is long like that. So I don't expect everyone to come back and do something. But I think once you made it to a certain level, I think everybody has a duty to go back to the ends and sort something out. Every single rapper.
I don't think
That's
they're
just my
obliged to.
personal opinion.
I don't think they're obliged.
I think they
I don't
have
think
to.
there's. I don't think there's.
Especially when you know how men are living in your ends and you know how the kids are and you know that post 3:30 they have nothing to do and there's a reason why they go to the streets. You've got a duty to take care of that.
I think
and these men are the same people that made you come that most probably supported your song when you first blew.
All right, Mo, question on that point. What about if said rapper had nothing but negative experiences within that hood, such as being stabbed, shot, or whatever? Do you still expect them to want to give back?
How long have they lived there? Their whole life?
Yeah, if they've been there their whole life.
Negative. It won't all be negative.
Yeah, but it goes back to the same.
I get your question, but
that's not minute, bro. Getting shot and getting
no,
stabbed.
I feel you. I know man that got shot and stabbed in Tottenham, but I'm saying that's because of the beef they had in Tottenham. But that's not saying Tottenham's all been negative.
So would you look at them a certain way if they left and never came back?
Yeah, 100%.
Despite being shot and stabbed.
Yeah, because let me give you an example. Say you're from Northampton Park, and then you get shot in Broadwater Farm.
Yes.
That's because you've got beef with Broadwater Farm. But you grew up in Northampton Park. You have a duty to do something for Northampton Park then.
These are all hoods in North London, by the way, audience.
Do you get what I'm saying? Then you have a duty to do something in Northumberland Park because you grew up there. You went to school there. You loved there. That's your family's there. Your mum
I don't
was
know if
there.
I like the
Come
word
on, bro.
duty though, man.
Nah, I'm sorry. To me personally,
It's
It
not a
would.
duty. It's not a
listen,
duty.
duty.
If it was me, I would go back. But that's just me.
yeah.
I don't know if these rappers have a duty.
It depends on the person. It depends on their experiences. It depends on just how they view their hood, how they view where they're from. If they don't view them in a negative light, they're not gonna go back and give back.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Lot. That's just maybe it's because I know how heavily I will give back to Tottenham if I ever made it. So maybe I'm projecting my own thoughts onto everyone else.
You can give back without physically being there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people are caught up in the whole idealistic dream that going back to the hood means going back to the hood, making sure that everyone's right,
Just chilling
yourself.
Yeah.
And in that picture, you can be caught slipping.
I agree with you, and that's unsafe. But I'm just saying.
How many rappers did they kill in their hood?
Big girl.
Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey Hussle got killed in his.
Nipsey.
Yeah.
This is great. Nipsey Hussle was literally trying to, from a commercial standpoint, uplift his community.
Yeah.
He was buying shops around the whole area,
But let me give you a question now.
and they still killed him.
But
Now
let me give you a question. How much is Nipsey Hussle revered in his ends?
he was killed in his
No,
ends.
but why
though.
is he so revered in his ends? Cool, one
because
person done
because
one
he
thing.
did that.
Cool, one person done one thing. I'm saying, why is he so revered?
Because he did that.
Exactly. So let's not act like just the end still luck. Yeah, my man shot him, but he's still Nipsey Hussle is on another level revered because of everything he's giving back to his ends at the same time. Do you get what I'm saying?
I think it's a bit more complex, bro.
I
think it's a bit more complex than that. Because there's something quite deep about all these rappers, a lot of these rappers that have died or been shot.
Where they come from is
dying
still
where they
unsafe.
came from.
Yeah, because where they come from is still unsafe. That no one's denying that.
So then why would they want to go back?
What do you mean, to make it better or just to go back to chill?
Full stop. Why would they want to go back?
Because you've made it and you know, and there's still kids there, so you know where they're coming from.
Yeah, but Mo, like, if we're gonna be,
Like,
I get you.
Yeah.
but Mo, like, where you're from is a fucking lottery, innit? Like,
Yeah.
In another world, you're not from Tottenham. In
Yeah.
another world, we're not from South.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't determine where you're from,
Yeah.
especially if you've had bad experiences there. You don't necessarily feel that loyal to. You might not necessarily feel that loyal to your hood.
And then that's where I get what you're saying, but I just think I'm gonna keep repeating. But I think, cool, it's a lottery, but once you're born there, you're born there. So if you're born in Camberwell, if you're born in Peckham, if you're born in Tottenham, you're born there, bro. It's on you know, and you've lived there over 20 years of your life, and you know how the kids are doing. You know how you're doing. You know if your mum struggled. You know if your dad struggled, bro. And if you want to end the cycle of Tottenham the way it is, it starts with you.
Yeah,
You've made it. You want to end that cycle.
I understand that.
If you want to end that cycle, if you're not doing nothing, don't go on the TV and be like, oh man, I wish my ends could get better. Then make your ends better.
It's not a duty though.
I think it's a duty.
All right, cool. So how do you feel about a lot of these street rappers talking that street stuff, but not necessarily giving back to their communities?
At all.
Yes.
They're fuckboys.
All right, cool.
Are they? They're talking street shit, but they're not giving back to their hood. I don't understand how that.
Because they're living,
Because everything they're rapping about is glorification of their hood, the street, where they came from. There's pride in that. So if there's so much pride, maybe there isn't a correlation. Maybe I'm creating one right now, but in my brain, for some reason, I'm I'm connecting the two. If you can big up the streets, glorify it, maybe you can do something positive.
You
for the
can.
streets.
Do you know how many times man on road have told me this ain't you? That's essentially what a street rapper will be doing. You can be street and also stop people from doing street shit.
Yeah.
It's not cool because I'm road. Yo, everyone join me. Nah, do you know how many times I've tried?
Yeah,
man,
that's
have told
true.
me on road, yo, this ain't you.
Mm.
So why can't they do that? Yeah, you talk your shit because you've lived it and your man live it. But you know there's thousands of people in the ends that don't want that life. So therefore, do something for them.
But that also comes with maturity as well. Like,
Yeah,
not everyone has
100%,
that level of maturity. Not everyone has that level of nuance in their thought. You know, by the logic that you've just said, Pete, if anyone's gonna glorify the street shit that they've done or been involved with in their hood, my logic would say that they want to keep the hood the same way so they can rap about the same shit.
Mm.
Nah, because that's just what they live. I disagree.
That's
with you.
interesting though.
No, but logic would say if you want to keep rapping about the same shit that you rap about, you would want the hood to stay a certain way.
No, you wouldn't.
Imagine them not
For you to be able to be thorough.
No, because everyone knows the work you've put in, so it doesn't really matter at that point. Everyone knows what you've done.
No, I think
Everyone,
I-
you can
My-
live off
my
past,
brain's
you
gone-
can live off past glory. That's all they're doing. You can live off past glory.
And also, it sells. So
Yeah.
maybe a lot of these men are only talking about it because it sells.
100%,
That's
sure.
that might be a massive component.
That's a massive component. I'd say, yeah.
But to me, they've got a duty to go back to the ends and take it. Maybe it's because I'm projecting my own thoughts, but you have to, man. You have to.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with the word duty. I think it would be nice, and I feel like if you do have that emotional connection with your hood, then by all means make sure that everyone's good. But not everyone has that emotional connection. Therefore, they're not necessarily going to think that they have to.
Yeah, I feel you.
Nor should they have to.
I think they should have to. I genuinely think they should. I think you have to. I think if you make out your ends, whether you've
We're asking a lot of our rappers, man.
We are in it.
Well, yeah, man.
bro, we've made them what they are.
Yeah.
It's only right we can't ask for stuff back. We put you on this platform.
It's not just us though. The music has worked as
Yeah,
well.
but who's supporting the music? Your music can be amazing without us not supporting it. You're not going nowhere.
So why can I ask you, man?
Yeah, not necessarily.
Hey,
White audiences. They got
Yeah,
more money
and
than-
that's
they got
what I
more
was
money
going
than
to
us.
ask. So why do we do that? Why do we as the black community ask for so much from our musicians? And do we just do it with the rappers, or do we do it with our singers as well? And our actors?
I mean,
I think we do it with everyone. You know when someone made that at your ends. No matter
So
what they do.
it's
Like I
it's
tell you, Latito Wright was
the success. We do it with people that are successful from our areas.
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Why don't you think white people do that with their country stars?
Because they come
don't
from a
have to.
place of privilege
Or
anyway.
their rock stars?
They don't
Even
have
though rock star was
They don't
rock's a
have to.
black genre.
They don't have to. They
They
come
don't
from a
have to.
place of privilege already.
They don't have to.
It doesn't make a difference to their lifestyle. It makes a difference.
But there are poor white people.
Yeah, but that's compare and contrast.
They still have privilege at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like poor
You got-
whites are still going to be in a, for the most part, better position than
Poor blacks.
Like they're always gonna have that.
not
privilege.
maybe not economically, but like in terms of like societal structures.
They're always gonna have that. But
But do we only, and this is completely aside from that, what about
We
our
got it now.
female rappers? Do we hold them to the same standards as we do our male rappers? As far as going back to the communities and giving back to the communities and stuff?
I like to think so.
yeah,
Oh, I stumped you.
yeah. That's a dope question, though. But yeah, it's just
Because I've
it's-
never heard of a little Kim Foxy being like dragged or being even asked questions about going back to their areas. So I was
that's
just
a
wondering.
That's a different era, though.
Okay, even like a Stefflon Don or Miss Banks. I don't hear
But
much.
we don't do that here. We don't do that.
don't
in this
think we go
country.
back to our ends?
No, we don't do this in country. We don't make a scene if they don't go back to the ends.
What?
We don't cause a scene if someone don't go back to. I want them to, but this country don't cause a scene if someone don't go back to the ends here. Do you get what I'm saying?
I want to. There's someone I was just thinking of, and it has happened.
Like Dizzy, did people cause a scene that Dizzy never came back to the ends?
Not that I know of.
They
That's
were
what-
getting onto him for
that's what-
leaving grime, though.
There's a different story. That's musically. I'm talking about, did they get onto him for leaving his ends?
I don't know.
Then why would they get onto Stefflon Don? We don't really care like that. To me, I do personally, but I think this country don't really care like that. Do you get what I'm saying?
So yeah, it's different from the US.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose
It's
it's only.
different.
I
That's why I
suppose-
think female
Yeah.
in the UK just doesn't matter whether it's a Stefflon Don or Dizzy.
Yeah. If you're Dave and you make a song called Streatham and you make it very clear that you rep your ends, like that's you, yeah, then there might be more of an expectation to take care of it, as opposed to someone who doesn't necessarily make songs about their ends and, you know, glorify it as much as they can.
And all of them got to fix their shit, fix up their ends, man.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion on it.
I feel you. I mean, it's valid, but not everyone is built like you, Mohammed.
Hey, man, it is what it is.